This video is being brought to you by Cutting Edge Gamer. If you upgrade graphics cards often, Cutting Edge Gamer is the perfect option for you. Lease the newest graphics cards on the market, such as Nvidia's RTX 20 series, for a low monthly payment. Click the affiliate link below in the description to find out more.
Skip it up and that up. So Cliff Bleszinski, whether you like the guy or not, you can't knock his contributions to the gaming industry. He actually started working at Epic back in 1992. He worked on a game called Jazz the Jackrabbit. I didn't know this until I started researching for this video. He also worked on the Unreal Tournament series, and he was the lead guy for the first 3 Gears of War games. So he has his credentials, man, and whether you like the guy or not, he's put his work in and he's proven himself many times over. Now, after Cliff left Epic Games in 2012, he didn't even think he was going to come back. He just was going to take all the money that he made and retire, which I don't blame him for that. Hey, man, more power to him that he was at that point in his life already where he had a choice to do that. But he decided to come back with a company called Boss Key Productions. And they made a spectacular failure, which I've talked about many times in the past, called Lawbreakers, which I remember seeing gameplay for it before it was released. I'm like, man, this game looks like it's going to be pretty good. But it didn't catch on. He thought it was going to be a $1 billion franchise, Cliff, and it hit with a resounding thud. No one really played it, and they ended up shutting the doors on Lawbreakers because it failed. Flat out failed. And it was funny, if you remember earlier this year, I made a video on it right before they said that they were shutting down Boss Key Productions. They came out with a battle royale game called Radical Heights, and you could tell they were hoping it was going to be a cash grab to save the company after Lawbreakers failed. It didn't work, and shortly after they announced Radical Heights, they announced that they were shutting down Boss Key Productions, which, you know, again, however you feel about Cliff, it sucks to see people lose their jobs, and it sucks to see a company fail. Now, a lot of people thought that Cliff was just going to lick his wounds and be back, especially after he announced that Boss Key Productions was closing. He said this: "Video games will forever be a part of who I am, and I hope to make something new again someday." So everyone thought, okay, you know, he has money, he's going to take some more time off, and, you know, I'm sure trying to run Boss Key Productions, whether it was successful or not, was stressful, and he's just going to kind of regroup. Anyone would have to do that, so I don't blame him. But maybe Cliff is not thinking about coming back and developing games again because someone wrote him a nasty tweet on Twitter. Again, take that as context. Maybe he was just replying out of anger. Trust me, I know how that is. But someone wrote him something nasty on Twitter, and this is what he responded with. I wish I had the original tweet. I actually saw it initially, and I was actually going to make a video on this before I had the articles about it, but I forgot to, so fail on my part. But anyway, this is Cliff's reply, and this is what he had to say. "I paid my employees their 401ks and their healthcare even months after the studio folded so they could care for their families. I didn't take a salary myself for 2 years. I get you're sad, but God, this kind of shit is another reason I am never making another video game." Now, what's interesting, though, is that someone called him out who was a former employee over at Boss Key Productions, and his name is Zach Lowry, and this is what he responded to when Cliff wrote that statement. It's kind of interesting. Here's what he had to say. "My severance was only 3 weeks. Months must be getting shorter and shorter in retirement." Now, Cliff responded that him and Zach are friends and they were just ribbing on each other, which it might be if you read the string of tweets. But then Zach says something to someone else who was defending Cliff. This other gentleman wrote, which shall remain nameless because I know people don't like their identities unless they're a public figure, posted. "Not to mention Cliff gave more to his employees after they folded than Telltale, a much bigger company. So please leave the man alone. Let him do him." And Zach replies back with, which is interesting, and if it was just ribbing on Zach's part, a friendly ribbing with his buddy Cliff, I don't think he would say this. "LOL, you are misguided, my friend. I live that life. You only read the story on the internet." So if Zach was just messing around saying, "Oh yeah, you know, we really actually got paid for months and not a few weeks. I was just messing with Cliff," why would he make a statement like that? But, you know, if you read the string of tweets again, Zach and Cliff kind of have a friendly back and forth. So maybe they are, but I just don't think that Zach would say what he said there if he was just messing with Cliff and he wasn't being serious, but that's just me. Now look, I've been a harsh critic of Cliff Bleszinski before because, like me, he is also an outspoken prick, and I've disagreed with him many times. But again, like I said earlier on in this video, you can't knock the guy's hustle. You can't knock the guy's achievements and contributions. He's done his thing. And if he is at a point in his life, because I know he, especially not only from all the success he had over at Epic Games, he also was an initial investor in Oculus Rift, and I think he made decent coin off of that. If he's at a point in life where he won the capitalism lottery and he doesn't have to work another day, let him be, man. You know, it sucks because maybe we're missing out on great games, but I don't know, maybe if I was in his position too, and I would change my mind and be like, you know what, man? I've put my work in. I'm done. You can't knock him for it because I think a lot of people would make the same decision he is if he wasn't just speaking out of anger. I also think, too, due to all the crap that Cliff went through with Boss Key Productions and Lawbreakers, and especially because he talked up Lawbreakers to no end, billion-dollar franchise like no other game out there, which wasn't true, so on and so forth, that he got a lot of crap for what he did with Lawbreakers and Boss Key Productions, and how Radical Heights was obviously a last-ditch attempt to continue making Boss Key money. So I think he's just tired. I think after what he went through with all the shit he went through with Lawbreakers and so on and so forth, that he just may really actually be done. He tried again. He tried to do his own thing, and it didn't succeed, and he's going to take the riches that he made and move on. So Cliff, if you watch this video, I know you've watched other videos of mine before because you've indirectly responded to me pissed off because you didn't agree with what I said about you. Look, man, I think you're a talented dude. I think that you still have something to contribute to the gaming industry. If you're not just tired and you want to come back and you know you're your mind is cleared and you're no longer burnt out, I would love to see you make a new game. Like I said, maybe you should buy the Fear franchise because Monolith ain't doing anything with it. I'd love to see you bring that back. That's a perfect game for you to bring back. But if you're done, you're done, man. You've done a hell of a job. A lot of other people wish they achieved a tenth of what you achieved. So if you truly are retired and never coming back, you can look back at your career and say you did a hell of a job. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.
Hey, congratulations! If you made it to the end of the video, you should subscribe to Review Tech USA so you can hear me blabber on some more. Also, too, starting this month, I will be live streaming solely on Twitch. I'll have a link to my Twitch channel below in the description. And last but not least, make sure you click that like button. It helps out the show big time. See you guys in the next video.